Hello, this is Anthony Griffin, and I will be providing a brief tutorial on how to navigate the Harvard Dataverse API. Now, a bit of background information is that the data, or JSON documents that provide the database backbone of this application, were taken from the metadata of Harvard Dataverse, Harvard University's repository for research-related data. In total, there were 100 documents or JSON objects that were included in a file titled harvarddataverse.json. So the main functionality of this application is to look for certain documents based on user inputted values. Here's the home page. There's a brief subtext alluding to the search page where you'll likely be spending most of your time. And also, I would like to point out before going to the search page, you may get to the home page by either putting in the initial app domain up here or by entering the domain followed by /index. I'll now navigate to the search page and begin to describe the layout. As you can see, you are given two possibilities. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can query by a specific dataset identifier, as indicated by the @ID field in the data. On the right-hand side of the screen, you may query by a specific field of your choice and its associated value. Let's actually begin with the right-hand side, and I will enter the field keywords, followed by the value Earth and Environmental Sciences. What is then returned is the metadata of 5 JSON objects, all of which are laid out in a bootstrap accordion. You may toggle each document to either collapse or show its contents, making it a bit easier if your query were to return dozens of documents. You may have already noticed, but there's also a sentence denoting how many documents there are in total, in this case 5. Now moving to the left-hand side of the screen, I'm actually going to take advantage of a web page I've left open to the users, which I frequently use for debugging purposes. By typing on the browser /all, I can now see every JSON object from the initial JSON file. I'm going to copy and paste the first @ID identifier and then return to the search page. By pasting it into this field and then submitting, you are then returned the relevant document. That completes the functionality of your possible search queries. And lastly, there is a link to a page titled Play Color Game. I completed the code for this game from a course I took a few months ago. I mostly added the game to test how well I could integrate an old project into a new Flask application, and to provide a place for users to take a break from querying the database. I will also like to briefly mention that although unseen, the data was initially pushed into a Mongo database collection, then exported to an Elasticsearch index titled Harvard. I mostly wanted to work with MongoDB, not because it adds any additional function to the application, but just to have some experience with working with Python and PyMongo. That concludes my tutorial, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions or need any clarifications. Thank you.